well, right to the point terms. If you have never really studied, or if you are a casual viewer of my YouTube channel and you kind of like picked, cherry picked moves and to certain video series or grab a video off of a suggested timeline from the YouTube algorithm, that's the worst way to do it. Okay, that's the absolute worst way to do it. You need to sit down, number one, and come up with a mission statement. Why would you even want to look at me or anyone else? Why would you want to study? What brought you to me? Okay. There's a lot of things that people can say about me as a person, and that person's flawed. I'm a human just like the rest of you. But my content is me being distilled into the essence of a trader, an analyst, an educator, a mentor. So your mission statement needs to be written out in a study journal. Now do this with whoever you go and become a mentee under. Okay, if you choose someone else as a mentor, you need to do the same thing. Okay, but you need to come up with a mission statement as to why you're even investing your time and energy into any individual. What brings value? Where's the value? Where's the source of interest? Where's the proof that there's someone that is worth listening to? Okay, so there was a long time where folks just simply because I would just deny them. I would deny them live trading. I would deny that. And I did that for a very particular reason. Number one, in the United States, I have the luxury of being protected by demo account education. And the folks that would learn under me that can see through that and say, okay, if I can see it in a demo account and that's price, then it should work in a live account. And that invitation for you to test it was built in. So I don't want any of you to believe me. I want you to test what I said and teach. So that's what your mission statement should be for any mentor. Okay. You've seen enough to be inspired or inquisitive enough to go in to see what it is that makes that person worthy. Okay. So obviously this year you've seen lots of people step forward all around the world, different walks of life. They're doing it. They're proving that they're getting funded. They're proving they're taking money out of the marketplace and they're crediting what they learned from me. And I'm very thankful and appreciative. That's all I've ever asked for. And that mission statement needs to be spelled out for you. Why are you trying to learn from me or anyone else? What would a mission statement look like? What would an example be? My goal is to harvest all of the insights that Michael J. Huddleston is divulging to the public in his YouTube videos in hopes that it will help me form a unique model for trading the market, not markets, a very specific market. Okay, this is the problem that I have with my students, even in paid mentorship group. They want to trade everything based on the next move or whatever just popped up. You need to be very specific. All of you have witnessed how I transitioned away from Forex, and I give you multiple reasons why I'm not trading Forex anymore. I have no interest in going back into Forex, none. Okay, went back to where I started in commodities. So I'm trading index futures, and you can see the things that I used and implemented in Forex works equally well in index futures. But it's better because of the volatility presently. Now, there were times when Forex was better than index futures, but index futures has always been steady Eddie. It's always been a moving market. But when there's a wild excitement in the marketplace and the currencies, that was a fun time to be in it. But right now, there's high elevated risk. So you need to be able to determine what singular market are you going to specialize in? Okay. The wonderful thing is my concepts are universal. So you can pick a particular market of interest. Maybe you had someone that was a catalyst for introducing me or you to me, and they were trading Eurodollar, or they were trading maybe a crypto. I don't trade crypto. I have no faith in crypto, but I have a lot of students that use my concept in it. Maybe that was the vehicle that you want to trade or instrument you want to trade. But in your mission statement that is in the first page of your study journal, you don't have a study journal, you need to start one. You need to get one because this is where you're going to pour all of your questions and concerns and your fears and your victories, these milestones, because it's not the same as just simply tweeting to me or other people in your circle that you did this trade and look, it panned out. And you're not sharing the 50 that you did it wrong. Okay, you have selective sharing. And this is the reason why you have to have a mission statement at the beginning of your study journal. What is it you're focusing on? What type of trading are you going to be doing? Are you going to be a scalper intraday? Are you going to be trading daily range, intraday swings? Are you going to be short-term trading where you're trading overnight, maybe a few days hold time? Are you going to be swing trading where you're trading for about 2 weeks or so? Are you position trading where you're longer than 2 weeks into several months or even longer? You need to be very specific about what it is you're doing. And every single time, it's going to be monotonous. It's going to feel silly. It's going to feel, I don't need to do this. But every single time you open up that study journal, you read that mission statement. Every single time you sit down with your demo account to practice and study, you read that mission statement because it's so easy to get caught up in social media, the competitive nature of who's teaching what, who's better than this, and who you got to remind yourself what you're doing because it's so easy to get caught up in all the drama of your own development and other people like myself. I'm very polarizing. There isn't a wide collective group that just simply love me in a small little group that has opposition to what I do. I have a lot of competition with people that sell courses and wares and things. They don't like what I'm doing because I've laid it in your hands for free. Even my own paid membership groups, members were pissed off because I gave out the core content, but they've learned that it didn't do anything, didn't change anything. It didn't take away from their experience. So you need to be able to remind yourself why you're studying, what you're studying, and what the purpose and the end result is. What is that? You're trying to learn how to be consistently profitable in one endeavor, not everything. Okay. You're not here to master everything ICT. That's a number one root cause of failure in my private mentorship group because they were given all kinds of highly specific details about how algorithmic trading is built, done, and utilized in the marketplace. And it's an invitation for them to decide where they want to focus. Now, everybody watched the 2022 mentorship. You saw how simple that model is. It's very, very simple. Every single model can be made that simple using my content. And the content could be replacing simply the fair value gap with an order block or a breaker, institutional order flow entry drill. Okay. Whatever, or a turtle soup, my version of turtle soup, not Street Smart's version where it's 20 days high or 20 days low or 20 plus one turtle soup. I don't need to look at the last 20 days. I can just look at where's the last swing high. And if I'm bearish, I'm looking for that move to run above to engage that buy side liquidity. And then I'll look for a shift in market structure. Or I can, if I'm real ballsy about it, I'm confident, I'll just sell those buy stops when it hits it and then look for an additional pyramid entry for a shift in market structure, much like what that 2022 model teaches in mentorship on YouTube channel. So you want to spell out exactly what you're trying to form in terms of your model. Now, if you have never seen the 2022 mentorship, you don't know what a model is. You don't know what an example of a model is. Okay. And that's the number one first choice for anyone coming into my fold to study. Or if you were very lazy, okay, and I mean that not in a mean way, but if you've come and go and you've been here, you've left, and you tasted other stuff and traded other things, and you just keep coming back. You keep coming back because you know this stuff works. You just can't find a way to make it work for you. And I understand. I have students, like I said, even from 2016, that are still struggling. But I have students from each group that are doing well. It's a personal hindrance that you're bringing into this. So you have to be organized. And we're getting ready to go into a new year. Go through the 2022 mentorship videos once more and only watch one per day. One per day, that's it. Treat it just like that. When you were going to college, you didn't go to that class all day long. Okay, you went in for that time and you were dismissed. And then you had to consider what it is you learned. So 2022 mentorship, that's the absolute very first one because it gives you a example of what it is. If you studied everything on my channel, you can come to that type of model. Very, very streamlined. You're not bringing everything into the equation. And that's the problem that my paid membership students sometimes do because they see I have a lot of tools. They think foolishly, and I've said this many times, and I'm repeating it again for those that have ever doubted it, I do not include every possible analysis tool or concept every single time I sit down in front of the charts. I would never get a trade on because they would be in opposition with one another. There would never be a confluence of all of my tools agreeing with one idea. And I'm not looking at commitment of traders for every single trade. And for intraday, I don't even need it. I'm not looking for every facet or component that I teach to be in agreement for a trade idea. And the folks that have learned under me or watched a couple videos and they say, okay, and I was reinforced with this perception of how my students digest this content. One of the folks I just tweeted a link to, he did a review on, I guess, the 2022 mentorship group or whatever, and me as a mentor. And I thought that it was the best review, and I shared it on Twitter. You guys can go look at it. It's got the guy's channel is Kimmel Trading. I don't know him. It was the first time I watched his video, and I thought he did a really good job. It was balanced, and you listen and you hear how he's an individual that mentioned how he struggled with certain things, and that is a recurring thing. A reoccurring thing in smart money concepts because these people take my concepts and they dilute it and make their own little mentorships and they leave out real critical pieces of understanding and they're trying to streamline it so much because they want to satisfy that itch for the give it to me right now crowd. Give it to me right now, get right to the point crowd. And there is no get right to the point shorter and more direct than that 2022 mentorship. I swear to God Almighty, if there was an easier way for me to have made it easier, more simple, more right to the point, I would have. I absolutely would have done it. But there is no, because there's so many things that you have yet to understand that you're going to encounter. Because you can just watch those first couple videos and get the gist of it. But what happens is when you start implementing it, and a suggestion would be using 2022 mentorship model as your mission statement. You want to use that one. You may not settle in on that as your own final resting place for a model of choice or your career. It may evolve into using breakers instead of the fair value gap. But fair value gap is the easiest visual representation of a PD array that I teach algorithmically. It's something that repeats on all time frames, and I'm confident my daughter could see it, but she's uninterested. And I'm thankful there's some people around the world that are absolutely killing it now, and I love it. But if you go through the 2020 mentorship and use that as your beginning point, once you go through that and you submitted to what I've outlined in every one of those videos, you're going to see that it requires much more than just simply watching the first couple of videos.